So when we think about the enemy, one of the key ways he's identified in scripture is to be, the father of lies, liars. A lot of the things he does is to do with lying. He's also called the adversary. He's also called the deceiver. There's so many different words to describe him. So when we think about the mind, we know that the devil wouldn't attack something that's useless, right? And the reason he attacks the mind so much is because it is literally the battlefield that we have as Christians. If we think of, like, for example, we go from Romans, and Romans gives we sometimes call it the road to salvation, where it talks about how Jesus saved us, what our problem was, how Jesus saved us, and what the solution is now. If you think about Romans 8 as Romans, maybe from early Romans, speaking about like how we are saved physically. It talks about how Jesus died on the cross for us, and therefore if we put our trust in him, we receive salvation. And then if we move on to Romans 12, what we have is the mental salvation, in the sense of, it says we should renew our minds daily, and therefore we'll be transformed. And then if we go past that, it sort of talks about socially now. How does so if we're thinking about salvation, like the point at where we're at right now, so we've been justified by faith, because of what Jesus has done and putting our faith in him. This process of sanctification, everything that's really happening right now is happening in our minds. Our spirits, we are now one with Christ. It's literally on earth right now. The battle is in our minds. So yes, our minds are incredibly important, because without it, we don't have a Christian walk. And as I've said, like, because the devil uses lies, that's his main tool. We have to be making sure that our minds are strong, like we can fight against what the devil is doing.
Adam and Eve.
And one more thing that I was thinking about as well, when we read like Proverbs 4, for example, and we hear about guarding our hearts with all diligence, because that's where the springs of life flow. If we think about it if you actually read the chapter in full, what you'll probably learn is that guarding our hearts is not just about protecting what comes in. It's about putting the right things inside our hearts. Bro. So once we have a fed mind, like with the truths of God, power is an understatement. We can do so much. So.
That's why it's important to like always remain in your word, because one thing my leader said to me was like, how can you eat every day?
Who?
My leader.
Okay.
How can you eat every day but not feed your spirit? So all your you can eat every day, you can wake up in the morning and go have breakfast, whatever, eat McDonald's. You feed your flesh every single day, but you don't feed your spirit. So obviously not feeding your spirit is not reading the Bible and praying and all that stuff. So with that is like, it will kind of disconnect your mind with God. It will kind of disconnect your mind it will lose its power technically if you're not feeding it with the right things. So, and like, in terms of your question, it's so powerful, but it can also be so weak to get it because of the things that we do to it. Like, we can weaken our own brain because...
But the thing we put inside.
Yeah, the things we put inside, how we feed it.